Alrighty, it was good to see you yesterday. Sorry I didn't get the video out to you. I thought I made it and I put it up and I didn't. So here we go again. Just make sure we're in tune. I'm playing an E major there, but if you just have an E, A, D, D. Our finger exercises, as I said before, if we start on the 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and 4th fret, the purpose is to keep our fingers on the fretboard on those strings. These are all pointy notes, not flat notes, right? So your finger's going to be coming in here and making this like awkward surfing, riding the wave kind of roll right here, which you can see collapsing over. Long story short, you do it down, up, down, up. It shouldn't be a strum because we're not really strumming, we're just getting the angle momentum of our wrist going back and forth. Pick a sweet spot in between here and here, the sound hole on the edge of the dreadnought, and then find your up and down. Try playing maybe these quarters up and down on the first 4 before even moving on to the 2nd string, the A string, or the 5th string rather. Thank you. And once you have that concept, go ahead and work your notes all the way up. When you work your notes all the way up, you can get up to the top and back it down. The same concept stays the same. What you want to do is keep your fingers really relatively close to the fretboard. That's the whole thing. In correlation, if you were to add the open note to each, your fingers would only go up to the 4th fret. Thusly, the 5th note on each one, except for the G string, which would go up to the 4th fret, would be the next note that you're looking for. For example, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. The next one's A, right? So my next string is A. B flat, B, C, C sharp. My next note, I want it to be D, so my next note open is D. D flat, E, F, F sharp. I want the next note to be G, so my next note is going to be open G. Here's the caveat. G, G sharp, A, B flat, right? And then we need to go up to B, right? So that's my open B. C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, so on and so forth. So once you get correlation between F, F sharp, G, G sharp, if you move up just right here, and then you play F sharp, G, G sharp, A, you can teach yourself what these notes are. Each one would go G, G sharp, A, B flat, G sharp, A, B flat, B, A, B flat, B, C, because there isn't a half step between E or F or B or C. Thusly, you can figure out where here is F, and then up here, octave. Same way that going here to here, octave. And by the time you have your octaves, it makes sense to move on to something we call the pentatonic, which is like an exoskeleton of a major and a minor on the outside of what all the notes are. Could be inside that scale. This is a diatonic movement. If I did a major, it would be. If I did a minor, it would be. Well, that'd be a melodic minor, but same principle still applies. So the augmentation of the notes that you're learning right now will ultimately decide the melodies that you will be playing. And that might be overly complex. Here's a simple way to explain it. When you're doing this, you could think of those as being 3 major chords, and they all have the same do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And they're all in the same pattern. When you alter those patterns, you get musical preferences. So what we're going to be doing is taking that lesson, which is lesson 1, finger exercises, and then lesson 2, which is taking every chord you know and playing them 2 different ways. And then next week we'll work on those same chords, but we'll turn them into minors by manipulating the median, the 3rd, by flattening it. If you want an easy way to look at it, start with the first chord would be, let's start with C, C major. C, D, E, F, G. Take away the 2nd and 4th and you're left with C, E, and G. That is your 1st, your 3rd, and your 5th. When you put your pinky up, your pointer finger up here, you're playing on the C, because this is the B note. It goes to a C. So when I play this, that C major comes out that way. You take off your 1st finger, put your 2nd finger, put this over to the B, and then you put your pinky onto the fretboard, making sure these are all pointy notes. If you could accomplish doing 1, 2, 3, for attack, and then switch your note while keeping 4 on the other hand, and keep coming back to that 1 whilst switching back between the chords. As soon as those movements become easier, you can start dividing those in halves for half notes rather than whole notes, which are 4 beats. Now we're doing 2 beats. 1, 2, 1. Now you can do quarters. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then it becomes rhythm. Do that with all your chords. So what's next? C, D major, D major, D major, D major, D major, D major, D major. That's in half notes, right? Here's whole notes. That's the principle. So do that with all your chords. We did C major, D major, E major, F major, G major, A major, B major, and then back to C major. The idea is if you know how to play C major, B major this way, you now know how to play C major this way, which is also like this way. When you play G major this way, you could also play it like this by moving all your fingers. It's the teeter-totter effect, right? Take off your first finger, put on the pinky. When the pinky's on, take off the pinky, put on the first finger. It's a deduction, movement, seesaw, fulcrum point, whatever you want to consider it. You're just moving something back and forth, like a vase that has liquid at the bottom. When you go like that, it goes from back and forth. What you're seeing here is an E major, just for example. You've got there's 4 sharps on the key of E. And the way I got that was there's none in C. C, D, E, F, G. G has 1, that sharp is F sharp. Every time I build around this circle of fifths, it adds on from that F sharp. That's the rock. So G, F, sorry, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. D's my next sharp, has 2 sharps. 1 is F sharp, 1 is C sharp. The way I found C sharp is it's a fifth away from my last sharp. F, G, A, B, C. That's my C sharp. C, D, E, F, G. G is my next sharp. G, A, B, C, D. D is my next sharp. So if I know F, C, G, and D are 4 sharps, that's what the key of E is. E major, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. And the reason why that's a D sharp rather than an E flat is because when we say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G, I already have an E. Right? Make sense? It will after we get through all of these different E, F, F sharp, G sharp. So what we're going to be doing is you go through all these different and make all the different chords with all the different fingers and try and get really good at those stretches, and inevitably we could add into different scales. So the last part of this lesson is just showing you the major Ionian scale out of your C major. Here's your C major, but if you want to work your spyder exercises all the way up there, and remember you're playing this first exercise with open notes. You have a C on the 3rd fret with your 3rd finger. You've got a D which is open on the 4th string, D, the D string. You're going to be laying your 2nd finger down on the 2nd fret on that D string for the E note, because D, E flat, E, and you want it to be C, D, E. You're gonna have a half step between E and F, just like a piano. E, F, E, F. After you're at F with your 3rd finger, you're gonna go to the next open note, which is going to be a G. You're gonna lay down your 2nd finger for the A. You're gonna have an open note on your B, and then you're gonna lay down your 1st finger for the C. When you go through all these, you're gonna have this kind of openness. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, 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 D. That's the first way to play C major, Ionian major chord. We're gonna go over the next 2 ways to go, and then every single shape you're ever gonna learn will always be based off of those. It's the cage system. I enjoyed seeing this yesterday, and I'll see you next week. Aloha.